Ai ngā kai wakarongo e ngā kai mātakitaki, nau mai ki roto I te whare o te korimako o Taranaki. Atamari ki koutou, we have got another pānui and update for you e pāna ki tēnei kaupapa motuhake o tātou ko Taranaki tū mai ki Ngāti Tama for 2023 e te iwi. And welcoming to the stage today, we've got a couple of different guests. We've got Uncle Whareoka Wano, who is the chair of the Taranaki tū mai Trust. We've got Auntie Emere Wano as well here as a guest to talk about the involvement with Te Aranga, ngā iwi o Taranaki, for any of you who don't know. And of course, we've got the fabulous Raymond, Master of Communications. E te iwi Raymond Tuuta here, mai te Kōmiti waka-aere o Taranaki tū mai 2023. Bringing in Uncle, he's going to give us a little bit of a background of Taranaki tū mai. Atamari, Uncle.
Tēnā tata, tēnā koe Taiaroa, tēnā koe te korimako o te iwi wakarongo mai nā. Taranaki tū mai e tūana anō I roto I ngā tekau mā wātau. I tōna rewatanga I te tau 2000 maiwa, tainoa ki tēnei wā. Ira kua huri rauna te maunga, kua tai mai te kaupapa ki runga o Ngāti Tama, ti hei mai ora, kia ora tātou.
Yes, amazing. I was just reading part of the background, Uncle. Talk to us about who was involved right at the beginning, because I understand that you were there, and also the likes of my dad, Uncle John Nyman Ma. What was, how did the idea come about, and, what are you really proud about from the last 7 iwi who have covered Taranaki tū mai and where we've arrived to this year?
Look, your father was instrumental, Taiaroa, as you can imagine. When we first got together in 2007, it was, and yes, we did have Uncle John Nyman and Brownie Phillips, and I acknowledge those two because they've since passed. But it was really about a kaupapa that would bring us together. We were sort of in the middle of treaty settlements and just trying to work together as ngā iwi o Taranaki, and we were getting a little bit political and a little bit philosophical about a kaupapa and a name. And then your father, in true Mike Neho style, said, Taranaki tū mai. It's right there. It's easy, after we went through a whole lot of different variations of some real hohonu names. But Taranaki tū mai. So I acknowledge Mike. He was one of our early trustees. And then, we come forward. At the time, it really was quite an easy conversation around that wanaungatanga. That's one of our 3 pau, that kotahitanga, a bit of sense of unity across ngā iwi o Taranaki, how we could provide a positive vehicle for our future generations. And then Taranakitanga, how we could be proud of being uri of Taranaki, maunga of uri of ngā iwi o Taranaki. And that's really was a series of hui. We'd been to different kaupapa like the Tūhoi Festival. Both Emere and I have connections over there to our mātātua side, and we'd been off to Tūhoi festivals and saw how that rocked, and thought, we'd like to do something similar here. And that was 2009. We got together at Owai Marae. Taranaki hosted us in 2009, and it was a very small event. It was just the Friday and the Saturday, Friday of kaupapa kōrero and a little bit of kapa, and then the sports on the Saturday. We had the prize giving, and your dad was supposed to get up and tono for Ngā Rauru to host it in 2011, but my auntie Martha beat him to the punch, and she got up and tonoed for Parihaka. And so the second one was hosted by Taranaki iwi and Parihaka. So your father was a bit slow that day, Taiaroa.
Yeah, well, he was probably focused on other things at the time, Uncle. But yeah, we've come full circle now. We've come to Ngāti Tama. We've been to every other iwi, and we've seen the manaakitanga and those values really come to fruition throughout the time that Taranaki tū mai has been going. What do you think is different about arriving at tū mai for Ngāti Tama, and what do you think 2023 is going to offer?
Oh, look, when I think of 09 and 11 and Parihaka, and your father got up early, and so Rauru hosted it at Wairoiti, and 13 Mutunga, Ray had a lot to do with Ngāti Mutunga at Uranui in 2015, and it was about that time that the iwi started to take ownership of the kaupapa. Ngāti Mutunga and Ngā Rauru really, they took the reins and ramped it up a bit. The 2017 kaupapa at Whareoka in Manaia, the numbers doubled. So we went up to around 800 that year, which we thought was quite big. And then Ngāti Maru took us out to Upoko Te Wenua in 2019, just before the COVID hit. Ko Angamoa hosted a lot of the sports, and we doubled again. We went, close to 2,000 participants in 2019, and then 22 Ruanui. We've really climbed right into that, close to 3,000 or 2,500, but we're close to 3,000 registered. In fact, Ray will probably give us an update. And I know numbers are not the most important thing, but now we're settled. We're all settled. We've got a little bit of resource to tautoko the kaupapa. And the biggest thing, I suppose, to answer your question, and that was the long answer, Taiaroa. How your uncle makes his questions is that it's on our calendar. Everybody knows it's coming. I've been to the coordinator huis, the recent ones with the Ngāti Tama host committee, with the Rangi Mokai, with Sal, and with Lungi and Ray, of course, and Ashley, and all the coordinators are just owning it. Each iwi are owning their part, and I think that's the thing I'm most proud about, that it's got a profile amongst our uri and those ones that come home.
And you're quite right, and the buzz out there and the kōrero on the street, and just from uri, and passing, they're like, oh, see you at Tūmai, or see you at Tūmai. So, like you said, we know that it's coming up now, and everybody gets that opportunity to represent their iwi, and then we can come together as Taranaki. So me, Māori men, not even to also mention our cousins that can't come to Taranaki Tūmai, but they can tune in through things like the lives and the live streams from Te Korimako. So the event is obviously as big as we want it to be, and the future of Taranaki Tūmai is certainly looking bright. Is there anything that you sort of want to add to the kōrero that you've just had?
Yeah, look, before I introduce you and bring Em into the conversation, on just as the Aranga, the operational team on behalf of Ngāiwi or Taranaki, I suppose it's just the Taranaki Tūmai Trust. We did, as you did back in those days, we put ourselves under a trust, and Jamie Tuuta, our lawyer, of course, he helped us with that trust deed. But I just want to acknowledge the trustees over there, and your dad was really instrumental. Mike was really instrumental in the early days, along with John Nyman and Rui Kere Wakara here. Auntie Whero was hovering around and supporting, that leadership of that time. But currently, we've just had a very lean team. I do want to acknowledge my trustees before I bring Em, as Rui Kere Hond and Howie Tamati, of course. Howie was at Sports Taranaki, and Ruakiri had a lot to do with Te Reo Taranaki, and still is in terms of our wakaarau o reo, so that element was there. Ngā Pera Moia, who is currently a trustee, so has that strong connection into the south, and Poi Manu and all those sorts of things in terms of that side of Leanne Matuku, who's at Tuiora, currently working at Tuiora, and Rawunia Tuiala Leatherby, who's been a real backbone of the trust. So just want to acknowledge that the role that we play in helping bring a little bit of that pūtea through funding and those sorts of things. But this year, Ngāti Tama, kua tū kaha koitau, and really proud of the work that they're doing, and that they're getting set to really deliver a kaupapa of Manaaki for next week. So kua nui aku pahu Taiaroa, and the Emere, she's got her foot firmly on my foot and telling me that's enough.
That's not one, my auntie. That's the one. No mai ki tēnei wakapāpā o tanga e auntie Emere. E kōrero ana mō ngā take, mō ngā hononga mai te aranga. No mai.
Tēnā tātou, tēnā koe Taiaroa koutou e whakapāho mai tēnei ata. Yeah, so ko taku tūnga, I guess, is the job that Whare Sero gave me and the ropu. But because it's grown so much, I think it needed some awhi, some tautoko in the back end that we haven't needed in the past because of its size, its scale, but also because people are getting a bit more competitive these days. So we were asked now, our team, Te Aranga, Ngā iwi o Taranaki, we are the team that work with Ngā iwi, the 8 iwi of Taranaki on regional kaupapa that the 8 want to collectivise and work on together. So this was a natural, I guess, a natural fit for our ropu, for our team to come in and tautoko. This year we are supporting the scoring and the collation. So in the back end, people won't see us. We'll be in a room getting all the scores coming in and recording those and then collating the marks so that when it comes time for prize giving, those will be handed over to whoever needs to, who'll be doing the prize giving and running the prize giving. So that's not something that that's been left up to the host iwi before, and it's just grown to be a job, big job on top of all the jobs. So that was something we felt that the trust and Ngā iwi felt that me and my team could tautoko with. So yeah, that's us. But I have been involved right from the beginning, since the very first Taranaki Tūmai with my event experience. You know, Whare and I were really keen, as he has mentioned, to have a kaupapa like this for Taranaki, for Ngā iwi o Taranaki and for the maunga. And so using that event experience to help set those first ones up, and right through to working with Raymond, in Ngāti Mutunga, and like Whare said, they really took ownership. And that was something that was really important for us, is that it wasn't a team of people running things in the back. It was actually the iwi fronting it and being the face of Taranaki Tūmai each time. So it's really nice to be able to come back in a support role, but I have to put my nipple shoes away and my, you know, and my poi.
Yeah, or you can carry your poi. We got a spot in Taranaki iwi team.
So
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And like you said, it just takes that added layer of pressure off the host iwi, and giving what is quite an important part of Taranaki Tūmai is that was one of the values there, puno ki te kaupapa, I think it is. And I always wondered why Ngāroru hasn't taken the whole Taranaki Tūmai out. So maybe this time around.
Yeah. You might change, might win this time, eh?
No, me, Ngāti, and I can tell, you know, just the experience over the past 7 Tūmai, that we're in a good space right now, and we've got the capacity to do these things and do them properly, and keep building on that. Any other things from Te Aranga in terms of the adjudicating?
No, just say, if anyone wants to volunteer, we're also looking for some runners, because can't zip around and get the scores, run back to the little room and put them in. So we've only got a little team, and there's lots of sports. So we'll be linking in with all the sports coordinators, the main ones, and that's where we'll be getting our scores from, not from our relations who tell us the scores, but from the coordinators. And so, yeah, we'll be putting a little shout out for some extra hands to help our team, for people to just go around and help collect the scorecards, etc., and bring them back to us in the collation room.
Ka pai, because it's all spread out. So, you know, there's different sports everywhere. So, you know, awi mai wānau, mā te uru ka rere te manu. Awesome, Auntie. Really cool. Both of your kōrero uncle, Auntie. We're going to bring in Raymond right now. He's got a couple of other pānui to do with Taranaki Tūmai, and he probably may want to touch on a couple of the kaupapa that we've spoken of so far. Kia ora, whanaunga.
Tēnā koe te whanaunga. Tēnā korua, whare rawako Emere. Just great to be able to have the representation of the Taranaki Tūmai Trust, and just want to mahi te whare and our whānau that you've mentioned, Whare, in regards to the kaupapa and where it all started. I think it's really important for us to always to reflect on beginnings or the whakapapa that actually is laid before us and where this kaupapa has come from. So yeah, just really, really grateful for the time and the dedication to the kaupapa that has been paved in the past for us to get to this point where we are today. And just, yeah, mihi to Emere as well, like Emere had shared is with the first Taranaki Tūmai Festival ki Taiaroa held at 2009 in Waitara as well. So it's actually quite fitting, even though we the host of Ngāti Tama are hosting it iwi, but we are actually back in Waitara where it all began back in 2009. So it's quite special, and just, yeah, really, really thankful for the mahi that not only where it has started from, but each of the iwi that have progressively grown the kaupapa. And, you know, as we see, as we've moved through, you will see that, you know, each iwi has given their own little bit of pizzazz or flair to it, or, you know, their stamp, you know. So it's quite cool in the sense of when you've been intimate with the kaupapa and you've like Em and Whare, is that when you've gone from the beginning and you've just seen it grow, all the beautiful colour, you know, all the really uniqueness stuff that has come into that has really resulted in where we are today. And, you know, we're just, yeah, really looking forward to having ngā iwi o Taranaki come and join Ngāti Tama, but also just to come together and always going back to, you know, the values where our Taranaki-tanga, you know, whanaungatanga, kotahitanga, and then just, you know, just being good hosts and whānau, as our whanaunga Lungi in her beautiful way mentioned last week. But really for us, it's just wanting to make sure that whānau have a really, really good time, and that we can keep everything up to date in the comm space as much as possible. So pretty much the main pānui here to whānau, and as you will see, is that there is fake accounts going around. So, you know, as we know, just be mindful around that, and just making sure that, you know, any comms in relation to the kaupapa will be coming through your iwi Facebook pages, as well as this particular, you know, our Ngāti Tama Facebook page as well, which, you know, we've got quite a few followers. So like we keep saying, like, share, and keep up to date, because everything will either be on that particular page or else through Te Korimako Taranaki. Yeah, so, but other than that, we're ready to roll. But definitely more info and updates to come along the way. But mihi to you, e te whanaunga Taiaroa and to Te Korimako. Once again, always there supporting the kaupapa, and, you know, making sure that our whānau are informed and they need what they need in regards to the comms to be able to make it a really enjoyable kaupapa.
Ka nui ngā mihi atu kia koe e te whanaunga. O tira kia tātou, ngā iwi katoa o Taranaki Maunga. Me, Māori Mean, we're only 9 days out from Taranaki Tūmai. We will have a couple of other updates, and Te Korimako will be also broadcasting throughout the duration of the Tūmai Festival as well. E hoa mā. Thank you, Cousin Raymond. We often experience the fake pages, and I know Te Mana Kuratahi also had some big problems with our cousins from overseas trying to get on in the kapahaka and get you to click this and click that. So, ka matara, e tātou mā. Just, you know, you don't get a friend request from a page like Taranaki Tūmai e te iwi, okay? Let's be real. And look after our nannies and our koros who have also got Facebook as well, and just reassure them that if you get a friend request from Tūmai, kei te he te rā. And also to Te Aranga, Auntie Emere, kia koutou hoki, te ngā trustees katoa o Taranaki Tūmai, ka nui ngā mihi atu ki koutou, e kaha nā te mahi mō tātou mō ngā uri katoa o te maunga. Nō reira, e mihi ana. Anything else before you take off there, Cousin Raymond? Parakore?
Oh, yes, actually, yes, parakore. Thank you, Whanaunga, for reminding me. Just a big ups to our whānau, Ngā Ruahine. Yes, I'm one of those ones that kind of stalks all the iwi Facebook pages just to see what everybody's up to. And I came across our Whanaunga Te Aorangi sharing the epic as comms coming from Ngā Ruahine in regards to parakore. So, e te iwi, easy as all we're wanting to do is reduce our waste and making sure that we're doing what we can to reduce that. So had a lot of whānau, you know, a lot of kōrero happening. Oh, we've got to supply this and we've got to supply that. Was like, eka. I'm sure everybody's got Sistema containers at home, whānau. Bring your Sistema containers, chuck in your cutlery, you know, put the lid on it, grab your tote bag or, you know, a warehouse bag or a whatever, you know, the reusable bag, and you're ready for Sunday. You're rolling, you know. Even better, whatever you don't finish eating, put the lid, click, dinner, done. So there you go. That's the insight, whānau. So, yep, it's going to be great. And I'm just really looking forward to giving more updates just to make sure that everybody's got what they need and, yeah, and ready to rock and ready to roll for it. So that's it from me.
Ka pai. Keep your eyes out on the Taranaki Tūmai Ki Ngāti Tama 2023 Facebook page for any further updates. E hoa mā, e rangi ki koutou katoa. Are taringa mai, e pukanakana mai, ki runga i tēnei o ngā pāpā o tanga o te korimako, ka nui te mihi aroha, te mihi mana atu ki koutou katoa. Kia ora.